Hi. I don't like my hair. I did my makeup. I wanted to look a little different for this video since I'm shooting it on the same day as the other video. I'm going to talk about some transportation things. Some of these happened, makeup on my dress, during when I had molina instead of kerosaurus. For instance, no vendors. There's no transportation vendors in your area. One time this happened, I was outside waiting for the ride. They were late. I called. Oh, they're on their way. Oh, they're on their way. They're almost there. They're at such and such a place, which wasn't far away. I waited another 15 minutes because that's as long as it should have taken. And then I call again and they're like, oh, there's no vendors in your area. They were on their way 15 minutes ago. Or half an hour ago, rather. I don't know what the deal was. They didn't like me. They didn't like me at all. Oh, your chair doesn't fit. That's another one. And then again, that would happen several times after they got there. And just the vehicle was small. Like, it was a minimal height and width requirement for a standard chair. One guy was really sweet, and I felt bad about being upset. He generally felt bad about the situation. Other times, at least once, they did the thing where they were late. I called. They were on their way. They were late some more, so I called again. And they were like, oh, the wheelchair doesn't fit in the vehicle. I'm like, okay, you have my measurements, my wheelchair's measurements, because I sat down with this lovely woman from Molina at that time. She was very nice. We sat down and had a long conversation about all the measurements of my wheelchair. I had looked up all the specs. I had to look up the manual online because I didn't have it anymore for some reason. And she had everything written down in my file. So when I called and scheduled the appointment, they knew all of my specs and everything. Knew all the measurements. Sent out a vehicle. It was late first. That was the first thing that they said when I called the first time. Oh, they're running behind. They're almost there. And at some point, they're like, oh, the wheelchair doesn't fit. Like, how do you know? This one, you have all my information on my wheelchair and my height and weight. My wheelchair's height and weight and all of that. So why would you send a vehicle that doesn't match those measurements? Surprise, I didn't go to my appointment that day. Oh, one time I used my scooter. I only used this a couple of times because apparently the type of scooter that I had at the time was older than the restraints that they had in the vehicles. So they didn't match up, which I feel like was a poo-poo excuse. I think they could have adapted it, but whatever. Yeah, so that was another fun one. That happened after they got there. We discovered that it didn't work. And then at one point, I think this was when I was with kerosaurus, they were like, this one really nice lady came out and got all the way there, and she called, and I had already made the ride, so I don't know why this is an issue afterwards. But she's like, I don't think I can take you because we don't take those kind of scooters. I have to get this appointment. I think I had missed it like at least once before. She was very sympathetic. I think what ended up happening is there was always a backup manual wheelchair on those vehicles, and she had me get on the vehicle that way, and then she pushed me up to the doctor's office and then came and got me and brought me back out, which was fine. She was very sweet. I think it was either that time or the next time I got her on the phone. It was her coming to get me and she couldn't come or something like that, and I started having a panic attack. Like, it was full on having a panic attack because it just had been like missed appointment, one after another at that point. And I was just at my breaking point. And then I finally calmed down because I was like crying on the phone with her and kind of being a little mean. But then I realized who it was, and she was being very nice, and I calmed a little bit down, and I think we worked it out somehow. I can't remember. I think I did get to my appointment that time. I must have used my walker or something. Calling the night before to cancel on me. That was a fun one. That still happens occasionally. It was really bad with Molina. They would literally call the night before, like 7 o'clock the night before. We can't come get you. Why? Various reasons. What I understand is I get scheduled and then I bounce around vendor to vendor with whether or not they can have accessible vehicle out that particular day at that particular time. I've even said sometimes that if need me, I can just use my walker, and sometimes that's worked. But occasionally, I'll get a agent that'll say, "No, we're not allowed to switch it." They're very inconsistent with their rules, kerosaurus. But yeah, calling the night before or the morning of to cancel on me. One guy just didn't show up, and the owner of the company just offered no explanation whatsoever. He just didn't come. Which I guess isn't his fault. That's the driver's fault. From what I understand, they didn't call or anything. They just didn't show. Bad drivers. Like the guy that got lost. That's a fun. Please go look that one up. It's called The Longest Ride. That's I decided to title that one. There's this guy. I found him twice. And he doesn't speak the best English. And he's very quiet. He doesn't say much to the client. He just loads you on, asks you your name, loads you on, asks you to sign the thing. That's about it. Which I don't care. I really don't care. It's usually I'm tired, because a lot of times it's early in the morning. This one guy, he had a tendency of slamming his brakes every single time he had to brake. I full on just fly. And it doesn't help, even with my seatbelt on and their seatbelt. I'd still slide a little bit in the seat, the material that the power chair seats are made out of. So I would still slide. And then there's this one woman who was new and I told her my seatbelt was broke. And she acknowledged that and then did she put the seatbelt on? I can't remember. All I remember was that was the scariest ride I've ever had. I've not had her ever again. I don't know. She just had a lot of complaints or what. But I had to hold on for dear life through that entire ride. And it seemed like she was taking the longest route she could possibly take. And then there's being left at the facilities for like a couple of hours. Like the longest was 3 hours. Second only to like 2 hours. So that was the longest wait, the 3-hour one. We can look that video up too, the longest wait. And he just ended up not picking me up. I know what happens is they drop me off and then they just leave. Which, according to some of the people, they're supposed to wait 20 minutes after dropping you off before they leave. None of them do that. Some of them will wait at the facility for you. Not many of them. I'm always very thankful when I see this one guy. He's a really nice guy. I'm a big dude, which, whatever. I'm a big girl, I don't care. He always has a plumber's crack issue. But you know what? He's punctual. He's nice. He waits at the facility for me, so I don't have to sit there for an hour or more after my appointment, watching other people get to leave right after their appointment. I hate that. That's not gotten any better. And I had somebody tell me you should switch to kerosaurus. They're better. That they don't do that to their clients. And I did switch. I lost a few things, like New Motion is not covered under my new insurance company. But I found a great solution to getting repairs for them. Maybe I'll link the new place. It's Care of Cincinnati, I think. The man is very nice and punctual. He got the repairs within a very reasonable amount of time. I think it was about a week. That was it. Maybe less. You get the ones that are there for the patients, and they'll pick you up on time, take you down there, drop you off, and wait for you. Not leave to go get their next fare, as many fares as they can. And that annoys me, because the ones that do that, who will drop you off and then leave, they'll ask how long I'm going to be. I don't know if it's a language thing, or they're just not listening, or they don't care. I don't know what the deal is, but they'll ask me how long I'm going to be. And at my catheter change appointments, it's a half an hour once they drop you off there. But I think they're going by my appointment time. It's a half an hour from my appointment time. But they pick me up 2 hours early, and it's only an hour drive to my doctor's office for that appointment. So I'm there early, and I know they've told me that their policy is not to take patients back early, but I think they do. They must have changed it in the new year or something, because I'm pretty sure they do, because I'm getting out of there before my appointment time, or just after my appointment time. My dad took me to the last one. We were there a little bit early, and I got out 6 minutes after my scheduled appointment time. So I think they are taking people back early. But I think that's just a changed policy, it sounds like. I don't know, it's just all these ridiculous things. Shoot.